Welcome to another episode of Indicate with Coach. I'm Coach Timmons. This is my partner, Mondo, man, from a long time. But before we get into it, just like always, I would love for you, man, like, comment, and please subscribe. If you like the content, you want me to continue bringing it, just hit the button. It's free. Please subscribe. Let's get into it. This was my very first guest. He helped us launch Indicate, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate it, man. And had to bring you back because the viewers, the people who watching was like, man, you got to bring the first dude back. You got to bring, and then, I mean, they was naming people to bring back. So I got to give the people what they want, you know what I mean? Plus, you know, me and you could just sit and talk anyway. So it's all good, you know what I mean? But again, my partner, he's like a brother to me, man. I've been knowing him over 30 years, you know what I mean?
Really?
Harold.
And I actually will use that from time to time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. I like the way you started with that. Hey, just for the world out there to know, my name is Harold Armando Smith. You know, most people only know Armando. The story Harold actually got a super duper legend behind it. But I'm glad you reminded me of that, yes, man. Sir. I'm good, proud of you and the show, and I've been watching your episodes, and I'm glad to be back.
No doubt. Glad to have you.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm nervous today, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
You know.
Me too. Me too. Because actually, I took a week, maybe a week or two off, man, because, you know, again, we are talking about mental health, you know what I'm saying? And just some days, mentally, I don't have it, you know what I mean? But I'm trying to push through it because I know that this is something that needs to be talked about. You know what I'm saying? So by me pushing through it, it's helping me, you know what I'm saying? And by helping myself, hopefully, me and my guests can help someone else. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So.
And I like the fact that you have such a variety of guests, yeah, watching the different episodes and seeing all the different things people go through. You find out a lot about people.
Yeah,
you know.
do.
I found out a lot about myself.
Right.
You know, instantly.
Right.
You know, mental health is real. You know, a lot of people out there don't like to think about it, but mental health is such a real issue that men deal with, that women deal with, that black deal with, that white deal with, Indians deal with, Haitians deal with, Africans deal with.
It don't matter.
Yeah, you're going to deal with mental health.
Yeah, it's a people problem.
And the thing about mental health is ranges to mental health. You know, it's people with small mental health problems who, you know, keep stuff quiet, you know, that could later on turn into big problems. Right. You know, it's the fact that because of the stigma of mental health, a lot of people like to ignore and overlook, you know, or overlook.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's something, like I mentioned to you the story I heard earlier.
Yeah, please share that with everybody, man.
You know, but talking to someone that I know, they had a daughter you know, the sad part is I'm a girl dad, you know, got 4 daughters, 1 son, and my daughter's in that age right now where they're about to be adults, right, and actually welcome to this world, you know, that we live in, you know, full blown. Right. And my friend's daughter, my associate's daughter, should I say, had a guy who she broke up with. She was a couple years older than him, but they both very young in their 20s, right? And this happened just recently, you know. It is sad, you know, but she broke up with him. People break up.
All the time.
You know, you don't want to be with him. But she said the reason she broke up with him, she noticed some inconsistencies in his mental state. You know what I'm saying? She noticed some inconsistencies in his mental state. So the young lady put out a protection order with 911, right, you know, police trying to do the right thing. Right. You know, like you would expect somebody to do. The guy come over, you know, tell her, hey, I ain't gonna do nothing to you, but if you call the police on me again, I'm gonna kill myself. Not you, right, myself. Of course, she don't believe him. Right. You know, call 911 and boom, right there. You know, and it was in the neighborhood they all lived in. So his parents had to see that. Her parents, you know, friends, you know, young age. You know, that's mental health.
That's mental health.
You know, somebody had to see that. You know, somebody had to see the sign. The girl did.
Yeah.
And she said she mentioned it to him, but now it's going to be additional mental health problems because of everybody saying that. The PTSD, that's real. Yeah. You know, a lot of us experience, that's one form of mental health people don't talk about that's real too. That's right. Post-traumatic stress, because any crazy, especially some stuff we've been
through.
Any
trauma. Yeah, it's
going to have lasting effects.
That's right.
You know?
So now, the girl who noticed the problem with the boy, with her boyfriend, now she gonna have a problem because she witnessed it. Yeah. So
eternal. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I think about this all the time, and just going through these interviews and just talking to people, man. It just helps you realize that there's a lot of walking time bombs out there, man. Definitely. It's just you never know who or what you talking to every day.
That's the worst part.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah. So, and what I figured out, I know that that's true. You know what I'm saying? So with me, first of all, I don't talk a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? But I sit and I listen first to whoever I'm trying to engage. I listen to the conversation first. And if the conversation isn't going, you know what I'm saying? If it's not gonna go like something I want to entertain, then I'll just back out of it. You know what I'm saying? But I've learned first, just listen a little bit before you just get to talking. Because sometimes you can talk and over talk the person and they telling you something wrong with them, but you so busy running your damn mouth, you can't hear, you know?
That's the most important part.
Listen. Yeah. Sometimes niggas crazy, they'll tell you they're crazy if you listen.
And you're right. And they will say it.
Yeah.
Man, you ain't never lied about that, bro.
All you gotta do is listen. Yeah. Just because somebody talking to you don't mean you have to talk to them. You know, listen, learn, you know what I'm saying? And if you want to engage in it, do so. But even at that, be, like I always say, use gloves with people when you're talking to them, because you don't know if that's the last person you're going to be talking to. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because, so.
And it is the case, like, and hopefully, like, unfortunately, we seeing this thing going on where a lot of these rappers and entertainers getting killed on and shot, and you know, that still got to leave some trauma. You know, on I seen so many things happen recently on just watching YouTube, and these real people. Right. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's son, daughter that had some kind of success. Right. So they was trying to bring legacy to the family. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then get taken out. That's still some type of challenges that hopefully, man.
All you got to understand is that even entertainers, man, they're still people. They just caught a break. You know what I mean? It's just an average Joe that caught a break. You know what I mean? And not an entertainer, but at the end of the day, it's still just a person, and they probably still fucked up mentally, still dealing with problems, you know? And I'm actually trying to curb my aggression with the cursing in the interviews, because I've learned that normally I wouldn't say fuck a lot, you know what I'm saying? But it's like when I'm in here talking, it comes out, and I've had a few people question my language. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, y'all might not like this, but sometimes I just feel like saying fuck. And while I'm in here talking on my podcast, if it come up, it's gonna come out. Yeah. You know, you don't have to like it. If it bothers you that much, cut the motherfucker. Go to somebody else. Watch something else.
Somebody actually said that?
Yeah. And they wasn't mean. It wasn't nasty. They were just like, Mike, that's not you. You cursing more in the podcast. And what I said was, because I'm finally expressing myself how I want to. Yeah. I know when and where. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting here basically having a conversation with somebody, and if it come up, it come out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's not derogatory.
No,
it's an adjective.
It's just conversation wise. I'm not saying that to you. We just talking about a situation.
But don't the shirt say it's okay to be fucked up?
I
thought that was there from day one.
It is. It's the truth. It's okay. It's okay to be fucked up, as long as you working on making yourself better.
That's the most important.
Don't just live in it. You know what I mean? Work on making yourself a little better.
And that's the other part though. Most things that people deal with, if people really, so I've been fortunate enough lately, especially more this year than ever before, to delve in what they call avid reading, personal development stuff, because they didn't teach me in my 20s and 30s that the most important thing you're supposed to take care of is yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's why so many people in my community, we all smoke Newports, for the most part. Everybody grew up smoking Newports, Black and Milds, you know what I'm saying?
Weed.
We drink, weed, beer. It started very early on. They never taught us about eating healthy, and it was fast food, it was grease, it was fried chicken. I mean, from when I go back thinking from a very young age, you know, all those things that we were doing to damage our bodies for us, we seeing this huge thing of diabetes in our community, man, where it's running rampant. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing this huge thing, high blood pressure, heart disease, people dropping dead all the time. You know what I mean? But because we weren't taught, right? And that's one thing I think that could, even with all the stuff I've been through, working on yourself, you know, you can change certain things about yourself. You can actually change it all.
You can.
You know, you just got to work on it. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it's okay to go through that. Understand it. Okay, this is where I'm at. Really sit down, write down where I want to be. And notice I said sit down, write down.
Write down.
Like make this thing and then start working towards it. And it's those things can change, you know. And we've seen stories of people who come from, you know, like where we come from. You know, and take it all kinds of places. And I ain't talking about it ain't always about financial success. It's about sometimes the things that you do to establish yourself, you know, and other things that you do to help the community and, you know, places you go and being seen and as a positive person. It's hard to really focus on positive these days because negative wins. You know, that's what it seems like. You know what I'm saying? That's why the person came to you, oh, it's fucked up. Yeah, it's fucked up. You know, that usually wins. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't want to see the cottony cushy. You know what I mean? Sometimes it got to be raw to really get it out there. You know.
I mean, it's real. I mean, I don't know how to do the fake.
That dude wouldn't work.
I don't know how to do the fake part. So all I have is me. You know what I'm saying? If you want something else, you got to go to another channel. So. I'm just being real, you know. I'm just glad I'm to the point to where I'm willing to voice it. Yes, sir. Yeah, because for so many years, man, I would just hold it.
And that was the thing that you like you explained earlier about the mask. You know, people putting that mask on and covering up. And you know, I think that's the reason why I don't have a job. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't because of. In order to have to work to be like in a place and it's just me personally. You know what I mean? To go into somebody's job every day, 8:30, you got to put on some kind of fake facade. You know what I'm saying? If you a person that really, because you got certain things that you can and can't do. Certain guidelines you can and can't. I know people who you be 3 times late for work in your career and you terminated type stuff. You know what I mean? So. That mental, and I knew it when I used to have jobs, my last couple jobs, I just felt like I was faking it. You know what I'm saying? I felt like and I was trying to fake it to fit in. You know, that was the biggest thing. I didn't have nothing against the jobs themselves. You know what I'm saying? I knew that because of how I grew up. No dad. You know, I met my dad when I was 17. He died when I was 19. Having a baby at 19, you know, being a single dad at 23, you know, those things like, I never really knew who I was. Still didn't know who I truly am. You know what I'm saying? Because all the books I done read, and this year I'm proud, I'm probably gonna hit 100 books, you know what I'm saying, that I'm trying to get through. Just using all my free time. You know what I'm saying? And those out there, if you have issues reading,
they have audio books. Just
I was
listen.
gonna say it.
Yeah, just listen.
Yeah, and apps.
Yeah.
Like I was gonna wreck is one called Headway, and it's just something to take 15 minutes, because sometimes that 15 minutes could keep you from doing something stupid.
Very.
You know,
Very stupid. Yeah.
and that could be another thing out here, man. What you see mostly when you dealing with the public, because you know you see a different side of the people.
Yeah, cause you know, I do a lot of commercial. I do a lot of commercial work, and what I've learned is I had to become a chameleon. You know, so again, I always listen first. You know what I'm saying? So I see, I hear what the conversation is. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm like, okay, well, I could say what I want to say, or I could say what I need to say, just to get around this person. So I've learned to just say what I need to say, so I can maneuver around the person. Now that came with growth, because years back I didn't know how to do that. So I would just say what I want to say, and I probably wouldn't get no more work. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So now I've learned to, now I don't have to like it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But I've learned to deal with it far enough. Now, if it goes too far, then with any and everybody, you have to let them know that you're not stupid. You know what I'm saying? And what I've learned, once you let them know, they tend to, okay, he is more than just work. Yeah. So I've learned that, and it don't take much. It don't take. Just let them know
like
you're
the way
not.
you say
yeah,
that, yeah.
It don't take much. Once you let them know that you're not stupid, you know, they they treat you different. So then it become a, oh man, you know what I'm saying? Thank you. I mean, all the conversation changed from just a. And to answer your question, what I've learned is, even the people you working with or for have issues.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why you just listen first. You know what I'm saying? Once you feel how the conversation is gonna go, then you respond. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to, back to work. I used to work 9 to 5. Well, really a 7 to 5. Yeah. And I worked again in the public, but it was more back-breaking than, it was more physically challenging than financially rewarding.
Definitely.
Yeah. So it was just all work and no money. Yeah. And I learned at an early age, and I always tell my son, a job ain't nothing but work.
Yes, sir.
And it's designed for you to just make enough Friday to have to come back Monday.
Yeah.
Because again, the people you working for need you to work.
Yes, sir.
So they're not gonna overpay you. Yeah. You know, they're gonna pay you just enough that you can have a good Friday, Saturday, but Sunday is like, damn, I gotta go back Monday. And it's a setup, man. So yeah, so
I like that.
yeah, it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna pay you just enough. So
Well, I had the unfortunate find out about corporate mental health, man. You know, I was, you know, I'm an insurance agent.
Right.
And I was with one company for 6 years. People out there in the insurance world, they know about this huge breakup that happened back in October between this company and a couple agencies, and I was a part of that. I mean, we talking about people that was making millions of dollars. And what I really, you know, I've been, a lot of people, some people going public, making their own little YouTube videos about the situation. Because I mean, people lost millions of dollars.
Right.
You know, and I found out that I actually sat down with the CEOs. I actually was in the rooms with on the Zoom calls. And just like you said though, even though these people making, you know, between $2 to $50 million a year, right? They still had all kinds of mental challenges. They still had way more problems. You know what I'm saying? And just recently, this thing all showed the color where this guy literally, where a whole bunch of agents, you know, people sell insurance to build residuals,
Right.
to build your renewals. You know, that book of business that's supposed to go on, and if you die, pass on to your family, et cetera, et cetera. Right. This guy, you know, insurance company executive, you know, decided to cut off income of like almost, I'd say, a couple thousand people. Just cut it off. Like, because his ego was telling him,
It was Ken to Trump.
no,
Okay, let's move on past it.
actually, he's a guy, could have been a hero story.
Okay.
Started selling insurance at 18 with his dad, you know, went on to become a millionaire on his own insurance company. But mentally, right, I was there, like some ego stuff where people always having their egos.
Right.
And if you like you were saying how you tell your sons, hey, a job is this and that. Yeah. If he hear you telling your sons that, and you telling your sons don't work for him no more, he gonna come like at you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's me or nothing else.
Right.
And it put a lot of people in bad situations where he's lucky now because the kind of money he stole from people, and I'm gonna say he stole from people because whenever you take, well, I don't know. I honestly, because I'm a mathematician, right? And I'm saying this on air, and I know somebody gonna come back to me, dang, you talking about that situation? Yeah, I'm talking about it. But being a business mathematician, I know insurance, anybody that sells insurance, insurance is one of the only businesses I know that pay you advance money. Okay. Your job ain't completely done. Like your job, insurance pay you a lump sum in advance and you got down the line to go.
Right.
7 months, that's what they do. That's how they call it.
Right.
7 months to 9 months, they pay you in advance. Right. So if I leave a company, right, and I know they paid me all this advance money, it's 9 months before it could be no chargeback situation and I'm clear with their money, I'm clear with my money. Right. So if they doing it because of that, you know, it hasn't been 8 months. Right. I'm kind of not yelling, not fussing, because it's enough money for you to go crazy. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But I know business. Okay, you gave me advance money. I know that if I stayed with over there, all of us stayed there, we would have still had to pay that money back if the person canceled within 7, 8, 9 months. Right. So I'm waiting after 8, 9 months. He should start releasing money. Right. If he do, then there's no need to have mental health challenges. Right. If he don't, I'm thinking that somebody might not, it ain't gonna be me.
Right.
But the way that these people coming after him on the internet, somebody, it ain't gonna be me. I ain't gonna say it's mine, because you know that shot in the dark is crazy. But it's really that bad, man, where this man stole millions of dollars from people and just like because of ego. If you go try to work for somebody else outside of me, I'm gonna steal your money. And do you think, and I know people who was making $200,000 a month, not a year.
Right.
They got kids, they got families, they got bills, they got wives, they got, and you just, but the whole story now is about mental health. If you hear what he's saying, all this happened, they saying it's because somebody was mentally, y'all crazy. Like really said that, like this is unfortunate, it's gonna come out, like real crazy stuff. Mental health, the whole thing, it's okay to be fucked up. That shit just cost somebody, I'm talking about, wow, I can't even think about it.
And it's a lot more people out there with money, and they got more money than sense. Because I always say, man, money don't make you smart. You know what I'm saying? It don't make you smart. You know
it can actually let you be as crazy as you want.
That's right. That's right. And most people won't even check you on that because they want some of the money. So they'll let you be as dumb they'll let you be dumb. You know what I'm saying? As long as you being dumb towards them financially, you know. Yeah, so they and behind your back, they talk about you like a damn dog. This stupid motherfucker. But as long as he paying me, be stupid.
And that's what go down too, behind closed doors.
Yeah. Then I go kill the cash cow. Then I go kill the cash cow, man.
Luckily, you bringing it to light, man.
I'm trying.
Because a lot of stuff going down behind the scenes. Yeah. You know, I've been today just getting over here. I was sitting home, the stress of I ain't gonna say the stress. I keep trying to not to use the words like that because the subconscious mind is real too. It is. You know, so that's another thing I would mention to people. You know, if something really going on with you, you got to kind of watch what you saying too.
It's power in
you
your
constantly,
words. Yeah.
oh, I'm so sick, my back, my knee. Oh, I'm so sick, my back, my knee. Eventually, you're going to be so sick.
Your back and your knee gonna be gone. Yeah, because you're gonna hypnotize yourself. Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
Just like if somebody say, I want to be financially independent and raise my children the right way. I want to be financially
You keep
independent.
saying
And the thing is, what I love about the subconscious mind, because that's the topic, those type of personal development topics right now is like all that's in me, right? Yeah. Things like that, because I know how to help somebody. Right. But somebody can actually, man, change their subconscious mind to really create any type of thing that they want to. Right. The sad part is they got story and testament of hundreds of people who've done it. Right. Not everybody ain't gonna do it.
No.
That's the other thing. Everybody not gonna do it because that thing called work is real too. That's why you telling your son that, hey, everybody can't go to work. But if you look statistically, right, 95% of people got a job. Mm-hmm. Only 5% gonna be entrepreneurs or investors. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And out those 95%, right, mm-hmm. it's a very small percentage that choose to be the managers.
Right.
Those are that's another level. Most of them just want to be the clock in, clock out worker. Yeah. But you can actually, if most people don't, man, I've seen situations happen here recently mm-hmm. in our town mm-hmm. where people been at these jobs in plants 25, mm-hmm. 35, 40 years, and they mm-hmm. holler back. Recently, mm-hmm. how you be at a place 37 years and they come and say, holler back.
Yeah. That's it. Hopefully you've been saving.
37, 42, right here in town.
It's tough, man. And it's real.
And these boys got to go start over.
And how? How do you start over
You're
after
58.
How? Doing what? Because physically it's limited as hell at that number. Yeah, so doing what?
You was the plant supervisor, so you was in office kicked back all day. Now you gotta go to the new job. You the rookie. You gotta get down on that.
And the young people talking shit about you.
He's slow, man. This old man don't know what he's doing,
Come
man.
on, OG.
Man, what you got? He don't even know how to put the wrench socket, man.
Who hired this old motherfucker, man? Real talk, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's really going down now.
Yeah.
All across America.
Yeah. And you sitting there with all the experience. I mean, you can work circles around this. But this how they say, this YN right here, yeah. Half your age, but over you.
Over you.
And telling you what to do and talking shit at the same time. And maybe using slang that you don't even understand. Maybe. You know what I'm saying?
And he'll put hands on you.
And he might knuckle up on your ass.
And you know you're kneeling back because you've been saying it to yourself for the last 3 weeks trying to get the disability check at work. My knee and my back, my knee. Now this young dude, he 32 and he going to the gym 3 times a week, benching 315.
And you just driving by the gym on your way to work. Only time you see the gym is en route.
But that's happening to people, man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, now.
That's crazy, but
so
true.
It is the true to have some type of, it's so many different ways to have some type of other trade. Yeah. The good thing I'm teaching my girls, and I think is a great thing, right. If they stick to it. Right. The key is the longevity, right. Consistency part.
Right, consistency.
But I'm not afraid to tell the America what I tell my children who I got 3 daughters that graduate next month, 2 from college, 1 from high school. That's big. It's one of the biggest accomplishments I can have, man, from a dude that grew up with no dad, to be able to make them get through this point in life and to really be there. Not no shadow dad, not no, kind of dad, no, like real deal dad. Right. You know what I mean? And that means so much to me, man. That was a huge investment for me. But what I'm asking them to return to me, and since y'all was basic pampered all through high school and now through college. Mm-hmm. Right? You getting out in this world, I need y'all to learn to live off 70% of your income. Right? I need that to be the first thing y'all establish. Soon as your first check come, 70% is going to be for bills. But that early 30%, I super duper need y'all do this for me. From the first check you get, and I promise y'all, when y'all hit y'all 30s, you never have to worry about nothing ever, period, point blank. 10% put into the S&P 500.
Okay.
Don't buy this crazy stock, this S&P. Just buy smart stocks. Just buy a nice little smart, you can buy them off Robinhood. And buy every check 10%, no matter what. Rain, sleet, snow, shine, you buy 10% S&P 500, right? Percent you put in a high yield savings. You want to put 10% of that into some high yield savings because you want to have access to some type of cash.
Right.
And then you have another 10% that if you want to give 10% to the church, you want to go on trips with your girls, that's what that's for.
Right.
You establish that from the gate. That's how I'm spending every check. I promise y'all, when y'all hit your 30s with 10 years of doing that, you'll have so much liquid, so much stock, and you'll be able to take care of Chad. You'll be able to do everything else by do. And watch, you'll be able to, from that point on, the money in the stock market alone would just coast by itself. They can have millions. But I want them to be serious about it though. 70%, that's for bills and stuff. 10, 10, 10. Just in your 20s.
Right.
Just do it for me in your 20s.
Just that stretch. Yeah.
Yeah. Once you hit 31, 32, do whatever. But by then though, because I taught them to do it like that, it's going to be such a habit, a 10-year habit, that's going to be super hard to break.
Yeah.
Why they going to change that?
So keep doing it.
Because guess what's going to happen? With these degrees that no student loan debt, my girls ain't got no student loan debt.
Right.
So in their degrees and no student loan debt, over the next 10 years, their income should. So if they're going to be sticking to that rule, man, I'm telling you. And I just want to do it. I might be doing it for my girls. That's what I want. But hopefully somebody else here and say, damn, let me try that with my kids.
That's a good idea. Yeah, do it.
Because where I came from, nobody told us to do none of that shit.
No.
When I was 20, they was teaching me how to cook in some jars like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
This how we're gonna teach you about economy. I seen daddies and sons selling that shit together. Mamas definitely selling with their sons. A lot.
Definitely was different, man. And the good part is you was able to come from that to where you are now, to where you do not want your kids to deal with anything you dealt with. So you preparing them. You know what I'm saying? And that's big, man.
And it mean, that's I've still though it's a mental challenge.
It is. It's all of it's mental. Because if your mindset isn't right, you're not gonna. If your mind isn't right, how you supposed to guide somebody else? Yeah. You dealing with shit. So how you go take all the trash you dealing with mentally, but clean up somebody else? It's not gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. No.
And actually, it can't. You can sometimes try, but it's still like I just told you. That's my suggestion for them.
Right. Yeah, they still got to do it. You know what I'm saying?
They still got them choices. And I gotta be real. My daughter's got boyfriends, long-term boy. One got a fiance. She getting married this year, September.
Okay.
Like I got all that just like, and then to deal with that crap with losing, a huge part of my residual income.
Right.
You know what I mean, to be cut off. And I'm gonna say temporarily because I know. Eventually the court's gonna get involved and all. Yeah. That's kind of how, and thank God, right? Yeah. I have to thank God because he put me in a situation where even though that happened, ABK still ABK. We still floating on moving. You know what I mean?
That's right.
My wife still works for the company. We still ain't nothing changed. You know, my girl's still graduating. The light's still on. Right. Because luckily we put certain things in place. You know what I'm saying? To make sure if we ever...
Yeah. It won't throw you out the boat. You just got to hold on.
Because if you can survive COVID, a lot of businesses didn't survive COVID. And I don't try to, I've been wild to think how long I've been self-employed. Like, I couldn't imagine like those guys, like you said, all of a sudden I got to work for this. Boy. Yeah. It would really tear me up.
And I got to be thankful too, man, because the only way we felt COVID was having to stay in the house. but financially, and I'm thankful. It wasn't me, it wasn't me. I'm just thankful, man. But we didn't.
Yeah, because you work outside.
Yeah. And so I stayed busy, So I'm truly thankful, truly thankful, man. So, but now I'm at a point now where I'm tired of the working hard.
Yeah.
Now, even though it's been a blessing,
Yes, sir.
it's been a blessing. I'm tired of the physical part of it. You know what I'm saying? Because I say to myself, I'm smarter, so I don't want to have to work harder anymore. Yeah. So now I'm actually setting up different avenues that I'm venturing into, and I did learn this from IG. I watch a lot of it, and a lot of it's bullshit, but a lot of every now and then you catch a nugget.
Yeah, it's all about the nugget.
Yeah, and this older dude, man, and I think he was Jewish, but he had 12 things that a man should do. 12 things that a man should do. And the only one I'm gonna share is the first one he said. He said, if you working on starting something or you got a business in mind and this, that, and the third, he said it like this: shut the fuck up. Make it manifest. Don't go telling everybody what you're trying to do. Do it. And then you don't have to say nothing because they'll see it. Yeah. And when he started with that, I said, I'm gonna listen to the other 11 because I like that one. You know what I'm saying? And, I mean, it was just 12 things, but that one stuck. Yeah. So I learned, because I used to tell people what I'm doing. And I didn't think it was bragging. I felt fortunate to be able to do it. So I would share it with people. But it kind of came across as bragging because the people who I shared it with kind of took an attitude toward me, you know what I'm saying? Or they started asking for money. You know what I'm saying? So I learned, and I know it now. I will say that I'm working on some stuff, but that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's all you need to say.
Until it manifests. Yeah. And then I won't tell you then. I might drive you by it. You know what I'm saying? Be like, oh,
that's even better.
That's me. You know what I'm saying? But I've learned, shut the fuck up and just do the work. Yeah. The work will speak for itself.
I like the way you say that again.
Yeah. And it's true.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up and do the work. Yes. And let the work speak for itself. Because most people do more bragging than work. Yeah. So.
And that's what I see most of the people doing online. Yeah. Well, certain people, like you said.
Certain people. Yeah. Just there's more people willing to talk than actually do the work. You know what I'm saying? Because it's easier just to talk. You know what I'm saying? That part easy.
But like I said, the work is the most important part.
The work is the most important part. Because you can talk till you're blue in the face. Yeah. And I've seen people busy as fuck and broke as hell. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? Because being busy don't mean you being successful. Yes, sir. You're just moving. You know what I mean? So I had to learn that part. I had to learn to myself, don't be confused. Don't confuse activity with accomplishments. So once I learned that, I'm trying to move less, but make it more beneficial than all this fucking running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Yeah. And at the end of the day, all you are is tired. Yeah. So that's mentally.
And you to that age though, but you don't look like it. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
You know, you sound like a young buck.
I appreciate it, man. I do try, you know what I'm saying? I do try. I do try.
Like people don't like you saying the slow. I say, but yeah, I definitely feel that, man. Yeah, right now, I'm in I don't know stage, bro. Yeah. Like I said, I'm still in the game. I love what I'm doing.
Right.
I just got all kinds of stuff, blessings added, yeah. But I don't know how far I want to take it. Because I've been having visions doing other stuff too, like you said. Yeah. And now I'm glad you said that. Instead of telling them, because if I make it just go and make it happen, and people will see it at the end.
I'm trying to move. Let me take that back because there's power in your words. I'm moving differently. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I see that.
Yeah. I'm moving differently, and it don't matter what age you are. You can always learn because I'm still learning. Yeah. But I do know that it's more for me. You know what I'm saying? Because if he brought me this far, just imagine how much further he can take me. You know? if I let him lead and get out the way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because who I look like, I'm praying for something, but it's not manifesting. So I'm gonna help. That's how you fuck up, but
Man.
how you gonna help? How you gonna help somebody who you praying to? You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
How? So you can't do nothing but get in the way.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just reading a book within the last day or two, a book about manifestation, right? And it said one of the 3 principles of manifestation. First, you gotta, manifest that thing. But one of the things that, like you said, people forget is once you wait to hear him tell you that it's gonna happen, but then people don't accept it into their life. That's not exactly how you took it,
Right.
but a lot of people just won't take that acceptance. When you go to manifest, like you said, pray on it, you praying on it, you praying on it, you praying, and then you hear God come and say, okay, do this, do that. That's when you're supposed to act.
Yeah. Don't pray for this, but do that.
Yeah.
And then now you wonder why this didn't do because you did that.
Yes.
So.
And I'm sorry I feel a little flushed on the camera, man, because I know this can go so far, by you sitting here and letting people get things out, going over top. I tried some stuff though, like our president, I ain't mess with him. People can say that's one thing I stay out of.
Yeah.
I ain't mess. Because again, like I said, I am self-employed.
Right.
I own an insurance agency.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I just added property, casualty, all that stuff. So what might mean something to this person might not mean the same thing to me.
Right.
And I'm going to make sure that by the steps that I take. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry, I don't work for the government.
Yeah.
So when people got laid off at the government,
Yeah, I felt sorry. I mean, I do feel sorry. You know what? I'm not even gonna go down that because that's a rabbit hole, and I don't want to go down it. You know what I'm saying? So, because anytime you talk about politics, it can go anywhere.
So I try to leave that alone.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is, I got a cousin who love to talk about politics. I'm gonna bring him back. I'm gonna just let him run his mouth, cause he love to talk about politics.
See, if somebody into it,
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
He love it. I'm gonna let him come in here and go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but man, this was good, Mondo.
Yes, sir, and I appreciate it.
This was good.
And I will take what I have been on lately is the prosperity stuff.
Okay.
I actually do a couple days a week where I speak to the insurance agency. You know what I'm saying?
That's big.
All stuff on goal setting, manifestation, things about taking prosperity, because it's hard to be a black male, right? That's a father. That means, and then you're a husband. So I'm still, married. A lot of people, so you're dealing with that. And got the children in the home is like breaking so many different, stigmas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Being in business, the same business, almost 2 decades. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's like all these different things. So some of the stuff that unfortunately, I always tell myself is unfortunate. I never learned about the real personal development side till I was 45 years old. I didn't realize you can just pick up books and learn stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And change stuff.
Yeah.
So that's something I really harp on my kids, but people that they let me contact through these different meetings and groups and during the book club we have, because man, if I could really help some people, change it.
Right.
We can have less people going to jail.
Right.
We can have less YNs shooting out and then making apps on phones. You know what I'm saying? We teaching them to make the apps, because there's so many people that create apps and you can make apps and make millions of dollars. But instead of they can learn to put a switch on the gun, let's see if we could teach them to do some engineering stuff. You know what I'm saying? But you got to change that mindset. And that's just what I want to be on, because I think that's what's going to take it to the next level, man. If somebody get out there and change, that's the real part.
That's big, man.
Thank you so much for letting me come back on the show.
Always a pleasure to have you, bro. Too easy.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all for laying with us, man, and going through this, having this talk. You know, so hopefully we reach somebody. Any comments, man, please, I would love to hear them, man. And again, subscribe to the channel so I can keep bringing the content, man. Again, this is my partner, Harold.
Mondo.
This is Indicated with Coach. Please tell someone about it, man. Lay around for the next episode. Yes, sir. Peace.